Hello and welcome to Roots Yoga. I'm Gareth and I'm looking forward to spending the next 30 minutes or so with you today. So today, by a request from one of our viewers, we're going to work towards the split pose or Hanumasana. So we will open up some hamstrings today without a doubt. So just kind of one note to kind of think about is that you do not have to be an Olympic gymnast to enjoy this practice. I am perfect example of someone who practices yoga who is not uber flexible, and just to let you know that there's always a space in yoga to work in a pose safely, to find your edge and your place where you can continue to work. That's why we call it a yoga practice. So we're going to practice today and open up the hamstrings and the hips, and I hope you will enjoy this practice as we move through poses that we're going to hold a little bit longer than we have been in the past few classes, where we've been doing more of a flow type, vinyasa type class. So I hope you will enjoy. So for today's practice, you will need some sort of a strap or a belt, a jump rope or anything that a towel that you can loop over. 2 blocks or something that looks like blocks that's kind of firm. Those will be very helpful. And some sort of a blanket or a towel will be very helpful. We're going to begin our class today, however, on our backs. So all you need is a strap and your mat. So let's come to our backs. So we're going to begin completely reclined. Roll your shoulder blades underneath your body. Find that Tadasana or mountain pose, rolling your toes towards the ceiling, kneecaps towards the ceiling, engage your quads, lift the pit of the belly, shoulder blades down your back. Jaw, face, nice and relaxed. All right, excellent. And then we're going to take our strap, going to bend our right knee, loop it around the bottom of our right foot. Set those shoulder blades, lightly hold the strap, and then begin to straighten your right leg any amount. Keeping the left leg engaged, the right leg, as you move into these first ones, you can be gentle with yourself, but start to engage the right quad. Find that edge, that place. If it's down here, it's down here. If you can get a little bit higher, that's all good. But keep your toes flexed in both feet, reaching through the heel of the right foot. And we'll be here for 5 full breaths. So we're already at 2, because I've talked a lot already. And 3. And 5. Excellent. Now keep that left hip grounded, that left leg strong and grounded into the floor. Switch the strap into your right hand, left hand out to the side, and take your right leg out to the side, reaching through the right heel, but do not let that left hip come up. You should feel an inner stretch, a stretch on your inner thigh. So again, as we hold these poses, the work is in these isometric contractions of engaging your quad, reaching through the heel. And then 3, 4, and inhale the right leg to center. Switch the strap into your left hand. Right hand can come out to the side. Now here's the trick. Spin that inner thigh down towards your left heel, the right hip away from you, keeping your right hip grounded on the ground. Cross your right leg over the left any amount until you feel a stretch in the outer right hip. So breathe into the outer right hip. Start to open up the hips. And inhale the right leg back to center. You can bend the right knee and just switch. Bring the left foot up. Right leg stretches along the ground, grounds firmly into the mat. And then straighten the left leg any amount. Reaching through the left heel, light. It's not a death grip on the strap. Nice and relaxed in the jaw. Roll the inner thighs towards the midline. Reach through the left heel. Engage that quad. Should feel sensation in the back of the left thigh, left hamstrings. switch the strap to the left hand, right hand out to the side, keep the right hip grounded, take the left leg out any amount so that the right hip does not come off the ground. So you have to use a little energy here to keep the left leg engaged. If you're super bendy and your foot comes to the ground, you can work on turning that heel up a little bit, moving the left hip away from your shoulders and taking the toes towards your shoulder. And inhale the left leg back to center. Switch the strap into the right hand. Move that outer hip towards your heels and then cross the left leg over the right. Any amount, keeping the left hip down, finding that stretch in the outer left hip. Very good. And inhale the left leg back to center. You can bend the knee, release the strap, stretch your left leg out. So hopefully that's starting to wake you up just a little bit. Take a breath. All right, now we're going to bend our knees. We're going to take our right ankle, bend the knee, cross, and place on top of the left knee, but above the ankle bone. So in this part right here, on the left knee. And then we're going to reach with our hands, lift the left knee, reach behind the left thigh for eye of the needle. So as you bring your left knee towards your chest, your right elbow can help encourage your right knee away from your right shoulder a little bit. You should feel this deep into the outer right hip. But keep your feet flexed, your toes spread to protect your knees. Breathe into that outer hip. Very nice. And then you can release both feet to the ground and switch. So now the left foot above the ankle onto the top of the right knee. Reach behind the right knee. And breathe, bringing the right knee towards the chest any amount. You're moving towards a place where this left shin is just resting right here on your chest. As you can see, I have another many years of practice to get there. But that's all right. It's all in the journey. You can find your place where the poses can do you good. And then you can release your feet back to the ground. Now we're going to do a couple of stretches that are a little bit more subtle, but will help to open up your hips as well. So take your left leg, bend at the knee, take the left foot out to the side, and look to see that your thigh is coming straight out of your left hip. Shoulders come down, engage that left ankle very strongly so that everything is connected and your knee is not is engaged. And then you can very gently take your right foot on top of the left thigh and provide a little traction, not down, but taking your knee away from your body towards the end of the mat. And then keeping your shins down, lift the pit of the belly, feel a nice little stretch deep inside the hip. Engage that left ankle, should feel no pressure or sensation in your left knee. If you do, back off. It's about lengthening the thigh, not about getting it down to the mat. And then take the right foot off, place it down, and then we'll switch and go in the other direction. So now the right ankle goes out, again the right thigh straight out from the right hip. Left ankle over the right thigh, and create that traction, pressing away from your torso, pulling that thigh bone long, and then trying to sink that right hip down towards the mat. Feel that stretch deep into the gluteus muscles. Breathe. And exhale and release. Left foot back to the ground, slide the right knee in. All right, now this one, slide that left foot underneath the right. So again, your left shin parallel to the short end of your mat. Take your right ankle on top of the left knee. And now keeping your ankles engaged, your toes spread, now try to lay your shins on top of each other. But keep your hips down and level. So you may feel this in both hips, one more than the other. But breathe deeply. Again, you're trying to create traction as your knees and shins come towards the ground and towards each other. They may not get there, which is just fine. It's all about finding a place where you feel sensation, feel the stretch, and breathe into that stretch. Now you can take your right foot off, put it back on the mat, slide your left foot back, and we'll reverse. So the right foot comes underneath the left leg. And again, the right thigh is coming more or less straight out of the hip socket, and the left ankle comes on top. Keep the hips level, keep the ankles engaged, toes spread, create traction away from the hips, lengthen the thigh bones, and work towards a place where your shins are on top of each other. So you have to engage the pit of the belly, pull it up to feel that stretch deep inside the hips. Another full breath. And we'll release. So left foot to the ground, right foot to the ground. Take your legs out full, take a full breath. Feel the effects of our mat work today. Maybe you feel a little bit more open, ready to tackle the standing poses that are coming next. So let's bend our feet, roll over to the side, the right side, press yourself up, and we'll come to the standing at the mat. And so I see the sun's coming through. Is it too much, or we good? Okay. So what you'll need for these standing poses are 2 blocks. You could have 2 boxes if they're firm. You could have 2 low chairs, or if you're super flexible, maybe you don't need them at all. But I need them, so we're going to use them. So place one at either side, and the first pose that we're going to do is triangle pose. So stand tall in mountain pose, shoulder blades down the back, lift the pit of the belly, and then we're going to step our feet wide. We're going to go to the right side first, so turn your right foot out, your left foot in slightly, and really ground through all of these standing poses, through the big toe mound of the front leg. We're going for a nice hamstring stretch on this one. So inhale the arms up, engage the quads, plant your back foot strongly, extend out over the right leg, hand can come to the hip, hand can come to the shin, to the block. And in this pose, open your top shoulder, your left shoulder towards the sky, and keep the balance in your feet. Don't collapse into that hand. If it's accessible to you, you can take your left hand towards the ceiling or the sky and breathe. We'll hold these poses for a few breaths just to really feel the hamstring opening. So engage that quad and breathe. The gaze can be wherever is comfortable. Down at the ground, straight ahead, might even look up towards the sky. And then strong in the legs, inhale, come all the way up. And we're going to switch our feet. Left foot out, right foot in. Inhale, lift the pit of the belly, exhale, extend out. Hand can come to the hip to begin, to find the grounding in the left foot. Left hip scoops under, hand comes to the block. Open the shoulders. You can take the right arm up. Press into the big toe mound of the left foot, outer edge of the right foot, and breathe. Inhaling. Those ribs that want to stick up, straighten them out. Maybe by this point you're starting to feel your hamstrings open up a little bit, which is good. All right, inhale and come all the way back up. All right, we'll take our hands to our hips. We're going to turn our feet back to the right for side angle pose. So we're going to bend that right knee, lift the pit of the belly. We're going to take our right elbow to begin to the top of the right thigh. Don't collapse in the back leg. Keep it nice and strong, and then sink those hips down. Scoop that right hip under. Don't let it stick way back out. And so you should start to feel a little bit of a stretch in your inner thigh, maybe both inner thighs. Maybe it's starting to work a little bit. All good. Now use that right elbow, right arm, to open up the chest so that your left shoulder is stacked over your right. And drop the hips even more. You can take your left arm into the pose next to your left ear. So you have a nice long straight line from the fingertips to the outer heel. If it's accessible, you can take your hand to the block, deepen the pose a little bit longer, a little bit more. Continue to breathe. Dropping down. Excellent. And then strong in the legs. Inhale, come all the way up. Straightening the leg and turning to go the other direction. So start with our hands on our hips again. Bend the left knee. Again, not beyond the ankle. Keep the back leg strong. Left elbow to the left thigh. Open up the chest. Sink the hips down. And take the arm into the pose, side angle pose. Breathe here for a moment, opening, twisting. Again, the gaze can be forward, it can be down, it can be up to the sky. But keep the spine long, drop the hip even more, take your hand deeply into the pose. You can leave it on the block, you can lower the block. If you're really bendy, you can put your hand on the ground. Breathe. And inhale, come back up. Now, bend your knees, step your feet together so that you can grab a block. So we have both blocks over here. All right, excellent. So now we're going to step our feet wide again, open up the right foot, turn the left foot in, but hop it forward a little bit, because now both legs are going to stay straight. We're going to square our hips towards the blocks, towards the short end of the mat. We're going to inhale nice and long. Hands to your sacrum, take your tailbone down, and we're going to fold forward. Keeping the spine long, 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 ground into the big toe mound of the right foot, right hip back, left hip forward. Do you feel it in your hamstring? The answer is yes, you should. Now you can take your hands to the block. Keep your spine long, and now ground into the back heel and breathe here. Staying strong in your feet, engaging your quads. Should feel your hamstrings, keeping the spine long, folding at the hips. Another couple breaths. And then strong, come back the way you got into the pose, lengthen the spine, hands to the hips, inhale, and come all the way up. All right, so now we're going to switch that. So we're just going to take the blocks to the other side of the mat, just for fun, just to see the other side of the room. Left foot goes in front, right heel down. Again, hips lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Left hip back, right hip forward. Hands to the blocks and breathe. Inhale and exhale. Continue to lengthen the spine, continue to fold over that left leg, ground the big toe mound of the left foot. Maybe you feel a stretch in the right calf, but definitely in the left hamstring. All right, we'll come out the way we came in. Hands to the hips, strong in the legs, keep the hips squared, come forward. Very well done. All right, let's take the blocks out of the way. We won't need them, well, we'll need them in a minute, but not yet. Okay, so now we're going to step our feet really wide as we can get them. But keep the outer edges of your feet parallel to the edges of your mat. Again, hands to the sacrum, tailbone down, lift the pit of the belly, lengthen the spine, exhale, fold forward. Hands can come to the ground below your shoulders. Breathe. Now you can start walking your hands back. to a place where they're level with your feet. Inhale, lengthen through the top of the head. Don't let your tailbone go back beyond your ankles. To engage your quads. So think about really lifting those kneecaps, really feeling it in the back of the legs, inner thighs. And breathe. Long, full breaths. Excellent. Now walk your hands forward. Hands to the hips. Strongly come all the way up. Bend your knees. Step your feet together. All right. So now what we're going to do is you don't have to turn your mat, but I'm going to turn it to face you. We're going to do some lunges to really start to open up the thighs here. And the hamstrings and the inner groin, and we're going to prepare for our split pose. All right, so come to the, oh, the blinds are too much. Okay, there you go. Yeah, don't want y'all just to see a bright light. All right, we'll stay focused on our yoga mat. All right, so we can inhale, arms up, forward into our forward bend. Hands come to the mat. Let's step our feet back into a down dog. All right, lift your heels, come onto your toes. Take your chest back towards your thighs. Roll on your shoulder blades. Spin your elbow creases towards the sky. And then sink your heels back down. Keep your quads engaged. Open up the back of the body, the back of the legs. Inhale, look between your hands. Exhale, step the right foot forward into a high lunge. From here, we're just going to keep that back leg super strong, and we're going to drop the hips any amount. But keep the back leg really strong. And then isometrically, try to pull your feet towards each other. And you just start to feel that all over. And breathe. Inhale, exhale, keep the shoulder blades down your back. Really starting to open up the inner thighs. And then plant your hands. Step your right foot back to down dog. Exhale. Inhale, step the left foot forward. Again, high lunge. So reach through the right heel, shoulder blades down your back. Drop the hips. Reach through the right heel, continue to drop the hips, continue to breathe. Nice long full breaths. Breathe. And very nice. Well done. And then we can step our left foot back into down dog. Exhale. Inhale, right foot forward. And now this time, drop the left knee to the mat. If it's too much pressure on your left knee, you can always fold the mat over to get us a little bit more support underneath the knee. But we're going to come into our low lunge, so come to the top of the left foot and hands to the mat. And so from here, we're going to take our hands to our thigh. We're going to sit up nice and tall, press into the back of the top of the left foot into the ground, and we're going to drop our hips any amount. Continue to drop. Lift the pit of the belly, tailbone towards the ground, and start to open up. Do you feel that across the top of the left thigh? Inner groin of the right leg? Then you're doing it right. Well done. All right, then we can come forward, hands to the mat, tuck the left back toes, step back into down dog, left foot forward, come to the right knee. Inch that left right knee back any amount to low lunge. Inhale, the hands to the thigh. Again, nice and tall, broaden through the collarbones, lift the pit of the belly, and sink the hips any amount. Continue to take that tailbone, scoop it down towards the mat, press into the top of the right foot, and continue to breathe. Nice long full breaths. Whenever you get to a place where the breath is constricted, where it's hard to breathe fully through the pose, then you need to back off the pose a little bit. Listen to your breath. All right. Then we can place our hands, grab a block, hands back to the mat, back to down dog. Inhale the right leg forward, back to your low lunge. We can take the block beside your right hip. We're back in our low lunge. We're sinking the hips again. We can take our right hand to the block. You just lightly touch it. The left arm comes up to the sky, and then slightly bend over to the right. Again, not to put your weight into the right hand, but reach to the left, drop the hips, really open up the top of the left leg. Excellent. And then come back to center, hands to the mat, and we're going to switch. So tuck the toes, Hanumasana, down dog, step the left foot forward, top of the right knee, switch the block. See the between the leg pass there? Nice. All right. Low lunge, left hand to the block, outside of the left hip. Drop the thighs. Inhale, and side bend to the left. Breathe. Dropping the hips even more. Opening up, opening up, opening up. And then inhale back to center. Take the hands back to the mat. Down dog. Right foot forward. Left knee to the mat. Grab both of your blocks. This is the last lunge, promise. All right, from here, both hands come to the inside of the right foot. We're going to lean forward any amount. You may be able to bring your forearms down to the blocks. Keep that right knee in next to your shoulder and drop the hips. If you have more flexibility in your inner thigh, you can lower the blocks to the mid-level. I would demonstrate the low level or your forearms on the ground, but I'm not there yet. So you can keep your forearms on the block, breathe, lengthening the spine, dropping the hip. Breathe into that space that is tight. Excellent. And then hands back to the block. Set the blocks aside. Back to your down dog. Left foot forward. Again, low lunge. Blocks, hands to the inside of the left thigh now. And again, start to come down in your journey towards opening up your inner left thigh and the top of your right leg in this grasshopper pose. So inhale, lengthen the spine long. Breathe into that space. Excellent. And then you can come back. All right, let's do one more down dog just to even things out. So we're in our down dog. Again, let the heels sink to the ground. Breathe into the upper back. All right, now you can bring your knees to the ground. And we are ready to do the splits. Do you feel ready? I think so. So what we're going to need here are your blocks out in front of your mat. You're going to need your blanket or your towel in front of your mat. I have a nice wood floor, a carpet will work, but you want some surface that you're on that will allow the blanket to slide, to move back and forth. You may want a little extra cushioning for your knees here. So I'm going to fold my mat over just as a demo. All right, so we're going to come to our knees. The blocks are here. And so we're going to do a forward split, Hanumasana. monkey pose. So we're going to take our right heel in front of us, right foot in front. And so we're going to stand up, sit up nice and tall, standing on our left knee. Pit of the belly lifts, tailbone down. We're going to try to keep our spine as long as we can, but using the blocks for support. So come, and then now keep your toes engaged, ankles engaged, and start to slide that right foot out any amount. And you'll feel a stretch in the right hamstring, the left thigh. And so you can keep going as long as you have flexibility. Maybe you come all the way to the ground. You're channeling your inner Olympic gymnast. If so, you can take your hands to the sky. Otherwise, keep your hands on their support. Stay safe in the pose, just to your edge, just to where you feel the stretch. And then come back up, pull that left heel back in, that right heel back in. Come back, and let's do the other side. So the left heel now comes to the blanket or the towel or the carpet. And again, lift the pit of the belly. And we begin to slide that left leg forward, any amount. And we breathe into the pose. Breathe into the left hamstring. Try to square the hips. Breathe into the top of the right thigh. And so we're feeling the stretch. Inhale, exhale. And then we'll pull that heel back towards us. And we'll come back to our knees. So if we had more time, or you are welcome to do this at home, repeat. But we're going to come towards the end of our video session class right here today. So we're going to come and open up the mat again and come to a comfortable seated Sukhasana or cross-legged pose for a gentle little twist. So if you need to sit up on a blanket or a bolster, do that. But sit up nice and tall. And so a gentle little twist will help to release some of the tension that you might have in your back. So make sure you lift through the pit of the belly. Left hand to the right thigh, right hand behind you. Inhale nice and tall. And exhale, twist to the right. Exhale, release, back to center, and we'll switch. So left hand behind, inhale nice and tall, and a gentle twist to the left. We're not trying to overdo it. Just trying to lift through the pit of the belly, release the lower back, and exhale, and release back to center. Now we'll come to our backs on the mat. So one more pose to kind of undo some of the work, to counterbalance the work that we've been doing. So we're going to bend our knees, feet on the ground, hands beside our hips. And just lift the hips into a gentle bridge pose. So flatten the shoulder blades on the mat. Engage the quads a little bit. Lift through the hips. Stretch. Release the hamstrings, and then release the hips back to the ground. Now you can take your legs straight out, turn your palms up, let your legs relax out to the side, palms out to the side, and continue to stay here in Shavasana as long as you would like, breathing fully, long full breaths. Let your body cool down. Absorb the work of the practice. I hope you enjoyed your time working towards the split pose Hanumasana, and we look forward to seeing you next time with Roots Yoga. May the rest of your day be grounded and centered. Namaste.